Hey guys, welcome to Simple Real Estate. Today we're going to be talking about vacation rentals and what I think is a good vacation rental and which ones you have to stay away from. Now, the thing about vacation rentals, just adjust this here. Nobody wants to see the steering wheel. Okay. Well, the thing about vacation rentals, in my experience, is the more expensive the house, the better tenant you're going to get in there. But you don't have to stick with that rule because there are a lot of inexpensive places that you can easily buy and rent out and just make sure that you have a larger security deposit or a cleaning fee and stuff like that. But typically what'll happen is, when you talk about which houses are going to get rented, and that's really the key. It's finding a house in an area that is going to be favorable. And what do I mean by that? Well, you don't want to have a house in the middle of a busy avenue with a bus stop right in front of it. So anything next to the water is great. Anything secluded in the woods that looks like a cabin is a winner. Anything that's next to a tourist attraction is a winner. Now, if you're looking to attract families, which I highly recommend, because there's two ways to go with the vacation rentals. There's attracting families, and that's what you'll get, in the mid-range income houses, or you attract, rich and wealthy kind of couples that want to get away. And in that case, you have maybe $1 million house in the woods or something like that, and it looks like a tree house. So there's several options with that, but my experience is that you're always going to be rented with family rentals. So you want to stick to the vacation spots. You want to stick to the spots that have 12 months out of the year tourism. I know that's real rough, but usually there's just either a summer or a winter, depending if it's skiing or depending if it's next to the water or what have you. But the key is to try to get a house that you could rent at least 10 months out of the year. That's my rule. My rule is you're going to have 2 slow months, and that's fine, or 2 dead months is good. But 10 months out of the year, you have to be able to use that rental for something. Because if you don't, the expenses are going to kill you, because you're not going to be rented every day out of the month. You're probably going to get 7 to 8 to 12 day occupancy per month, which is usually on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's usually what's going to happen in a rental. So if you do the math and you take away your expenses and your insurance, which is, if you're near the water, is usually sky high, and everything else in your maintenance. If you are by the ocean, remember that there's quite a bit of decay that happens from the salt air, and you will be replacing things twice as fast as you would in a house somewhere near the woods. Let's talk about houses in the woods. Find a house that has relatively good sunlight hitting the house, and I'll tell you why. You will go through expenses with mold with a house that's shaded all the time. So there's caveats to these things that you got to. And I've learned the hard way. The hard way is losing money, and basically I'm giving my knowledge to you here for free. So those are the two things with the vacation houses that. You can talk about a lot of expenses. So let's talk about damage and stuff like that. The Airbnbs usually are pretty good at covering the security deposit, and making sure that people put a credit card on file for any damages. Take a lot of pictures before. And a lot of people don't do this, but I had a friend of mine that went to court, and it actually saved him a huge court battle. You have to be able to prove that before the tenant went in there that the house was in good shape. So what he does is he takes photos, photocopies the pictures onto the contract, and has the individual sign before they go in. He had his house trashed. When you're talking about a $1,200 deposit, but then you talk about $8,000 or $9,000 worth of damage, it doesn't compare. So he actually won that suit based upon the fact that he was able to prove before these people moved into the house, the place was spotless. And they had a wild party, and windows got broken, and everything was just a complete mess. But for the most part, vacation rentals are great because they're in and out. And I've only heard of one situation of a person that needed to be evicted, but for the most part, people are just there. That's why I like families. Most families not going to play that game and not leaving on time. I have heard that with a single a woman and a man. They went into a house and they decided to stay in there until they got kicked out. So landlords have to go through the same eviction process that you go through, especially depending on the state. So like in the state of New York, you're going to go through the same eviction process as you would any tenant, and good luck with that depending on the county. New York is the worst state to try to evict someone in here. People know the system. The lawmakers favor the tenant, not the landlord. That's actually spreading goodness in the world, but they want to always team up with the scumbag, unfortunately. So that's a little bit of take on vacation properties. I know a couple of people that's all they got in their portfolio, and they do very, very well. They like to stay by the beach, but just remember the things I talked about when you're near the ocean, because that could definitely help you. But if you're doing anything, you're buying some real estate, you're starting investing today, start with one property and take it from there. You'll be amazed how fast your portfolio grows. Stay safe and be well, and good luck.